Welcome to this introduction to provisioning in a box, delivering value without the complexity. Over the next 5 minutes, we'll be showing you the capabilities and benefits of using the provisioning in a box solution. Provisioning in a box delivers account lifecycle capabilities within minimal configuration. Traditional identity and access management solutions require heavy service delivery cycles before any value is realized by the customer. Provisioning in a box delivers immediate value without the services headache. Best-of-breed workflow practice is delivered with the solution out of the box. 80% of configuration is the same regardless of the provisioning requirements. Provisioning in a box reduces the associated complexity while achieving the same 80% delivery immediately. As you can see, all system configuration is driven from an easy-to-use web interface. The configuration of systems is performed via platform integrators. Provisioning in a box ships with a number of integrators out of the box. All that is required to get up and running is system knowledge for the platform to be integrated. Typically required would be 1. System name, 2. System account for lifecycle functions, and 3. System account password. That's it. Once configuration is performed against the required platform, it is made available to all the workflow activities within the solution. Adding a new configuration is a simple case of using the add record functionality within the solution. License integrators are available in a simple drop-down list. The ability to discover accounts against the configured platforms delivers immediate value to the solution. The discovery is driven by a simple selection against the required platform. This is an important step in all identity projects, typically referred to as identity mapping or identity reconciliation. All solutions require knowledge as to what exists in the system estates. This piece of work can take weeks if standard solutions are used. As you can see with the Wavebreaker software solution, this process takes minutes to achieve. The length of time taken is governed by the number of accounts in the estate and the number of actively configured integrators. The discovery allows the provisioning in a solution box to capture important information about an integrated system. This information can be used to show orphan accounts, expired accounts, disabled accounts, and so on. The integrated platform provides the information to the solution via the discovery process. Once the discovery has been performed, lifecycle management can be performed against platform accounts. During discovery, feedback is presented to the user to show progress on the number of accounts being collected by the solution. For example, let's review the Active Directory estate by selecting the Active Directory Review menu item. We can see the information presented via a simple tabular format. The tabular format allows grouping on attribute information, such as all accounts that have never logged in. These accounts may be considered as a risk as they exist in the integrated system, in this case Active Directory, but are not used. This leads to the question as to why do they exist? Should they be removed or at the very least disabled? The review screens allow direct manipulation of the accounts for typical lifecycle functionality such as disable, enable, and delete. Taking an action against an account will have an immediate effect in the integrated system. Let's take a look at the Office 365 review screen. For this review, the integrator is pulling account information directly from the Office 365 resource in the cloud for the respective organisation. Very quickly, we can see those accounts that are used, disabled, and licensed, all from one interface. Again, account lifecycle functions can be performed to disable, enable, or delete accounts from the Office 365 environment. Once discovery is performed, we have the ability to review the accounts via resource map. From the resource map, we can adjust and inset new mapping entries if required. The resource map allows us to review all accounts belonging to a person from a central interface. While discovery is a necessary step and drives immediate value, the real purpose of the provisioning in the box solution is to provide easy onboarding and offboarding of accounts in a timely manner. Using the source configuration screen, we can utilize a standard CSV file format to pull in HR record information, or we can use Active Directory as the source of the provisioning activity. Once we have processed an authoritative account source, we are presented with a review screen via the Provisioning Review menu. This screen shows all the accounts awaiting to be provisioned. From this screen, we decide the basic configuration items required to allow provisioning to the required platforms. We can also amend the queue of accounts, modify information, insert new records, or remove records. The required platforms are selected by a simple checkbox. Any required values are then presented to the user for entry. We only see those items relative to the configured platforms. Decisions such as naming conventions, placement options, password complexity, home directory placement are chosen using simple drop-down options. The required platforms are selected by a simple checkbox. Any required values are then presented to the user for entry. Once we're happy with this selection, we provision the accounts using the supplied configuration. Progress is shown to the end user as the provisioning activity progresses. Any issues during the provisioning process as a result of external factors do not cause an issue. They merely pause the process and allow the continuation of the activity once the external issue is rectified. Network outage, for example. Importantly, we can also drive these provisioning activities using Active Directory account information as the authoritative source. For example, if you wish to create Google App Cloud accounts for all of your Active Directory users, the Provisioning in a Box solution allows you to do this simply and easily while maintaining control of the activity in an audited fashion. Following a provisioning action, be that from an HR feed or other authoritative source, again you can review and take management of the account lifecycle actions direct from the Provisioning in a Box interface. Here we show account management against a Linux account provisioned from the solution. We demonstrate disabling a Linux account direct from the interface. As well as provisioning new accounts, the Provisioning in a Box solution utilises information derived from an authoritative source, typically HR CSV feeds, to drive the termination of accounts. In this workflow, looking for a termination date pushed to the solution from the authoritative source. Highlighted accounts will appear for termination. We will then disable all accounts from the respective person on the configured integrated platforms. As well as discovering accounts for the purposes of highlighting orphan accounts and so on, we also provide the ability to consume information from the integrated platforms and provide a review list of which people have which accounts on which systems. For example, you may wish to provision an existing account to a new system. We can simply review their current accounts and provide options for provisioning to the platforms they may not currently exist on. This greatly simplifies the creation of accounts on platforms where you may not have dedicated system administrators. We are providing touch points to these platforms while abstracting the complexity often associated with the administration of these systems. All actions are audited and can be reported on. Progress of the action is presented to the end user, as you can see on the screen, in the form of a progress bar. Reports are provided via the easy-to-use menu system, providing at a glance meaningful information by platform. Simply selecting the relevant platform drills into the account information and action associated with the platform. Here are examples showing successful activity. Importantly, failure messages are tracked in the system. The retuning messages from the integrated platform provides the response indicated by the failure. This is typically provided at the API level, therefore the actual failure message is reported back into the Provisioning in a Box solution. Again, information is made available to the user by simply selecting the target and drilling into the required detail. Hopefully, you will have seen the power of the Provisioning in a Box solution, delivering value without the complexity. We hope this video has been of interest to you. Request a download now.